Ladies and gents, you are very welcome back. We're on the countdown to the ABS Pro. August 13th, 2022. I'm joined now by one of our pro female athletes, Melissa Hexter. Melissa, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to me today on Zoom.
Yeah, no problem. Honestly, I'm really excited to talk to you too. This is going to be my first time at the ABS Pro, and I'm pretty excited. I've heard really good things about the meet. So
Excellent. Yeah, we have a pretty stacked lineup both on the male and female side, and it's great to have you joining the roster of fantastic athletes. It says the best total I have for you here at the moment is a massive 434 kilos and 500 dots, which is just an incredible standard. So congratulations on some massive performances in the past. I've opened your open powerlifting here, and that's quite a record-setting number of competitions. You're a very highly experienced, very highly decorated athlete, and the recent bench press world champion with a massive 110, if I'm not mistaken, on your third attempt.
yeah, to be honest, I think we went a bit conservative with the 110, but it still got the win, so it was fine.
I saw the video, yeah. Amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Delighted to have yourself here today to talk, but also on the lineup. I'm not sure if you've had a bit of chance to look at some of the athletes you'll be going up against, but you're in really, really good company. Not to take anything away from your own achievements, but we do have a pretty stacked lineup. So speaking about the lead up to this, I know you're just off a recent victory on the Bench Press World Championship over in Kazakhstan. So how has training been going coming into the ABS Pro 2022?
Well, I finally have been starting to really lay down some gains, just sleeping well, eating well, just able to kind of put in a good week after week, which is really nice, because I was quite injured in the beginning of the quarter of the year. So it's really nice to finally be able to actually lay down some foundation. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how the peak goes. Right now I'm still in a power building block, and also, getting everything kicked back up again with both squat and deadlift, as I've been peaking for bench only meets for the past, I don't even know, 5 or 6 months, basically since my peak for Euros.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to finally seeing what I can do in squat and deadlift again after not having done full power since Euros.
Amazing. So that it not only is it that you're now peaking after being injured or hurt, but you've taken obviously a break from squat and deadlift to focus in on the bench, which has resulted in some fantastic numbers. Would I be also right in saying you are currently getting a PhD? Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I'm actually in the office right now as we speak.
Oh wow. Amazing. So you're setting the standard pretty high in terms of being a go-getter, so amazing to have you on board on the series and in the build-up. So this is your first meet that you're going to get to utilize wraps. 2.5 meter wraps are illegal in the meet. How has training been going with your wraps for the first time?
So I'm not gonna lie, I haven't put them on yet.
Okay.
I guess technically speaking, I'm not 100% sure I'm going to use wraps yet, but
Sure.
I have worn wraps before, not in a meet, but I've put them on. I've been in a suit before, just, kind of messing around back in the States when I used to powerlift there. So, I mean, it's not completely alien to me, but I really do hope to use them and see what I can get out of them. And I'll definitely be using them for the entirety of the next block. So get to really see what I can do there.
Some of the best peaks I've seen actually from some of the Irish guys and ladies has that they've only actually used the wraps coming into the peak. So you're probably in a pretty good spot to start utilizing them when we're about 6 weeks out. I think we're about 8 weeks out now. Would I be right in saying that we're about 8 weeks out? All right, so we're going up nice and close.
No, it's perfect though, because the block that I'm going to be start using them is actually, I think, in a week or two. So that actually checks out 6 weeks. So
amazing. So the ABS Pro is pretty well known for its high standard of competition, but based on your history of lifting, you will be one of the first time ABS Pro lifters that still actually has an extensive background with the equipment that we use. We do generally see some of the athletes that have competed on the 25 kilo squat bar or the deadlift bar, sometimes are thrown for a loop when they get on the power bar, the stiff bar. So you are coming in with a really good competitive background coming into this. So with that in mind, and the standard you're now bringing to this, like setting 500 dots in sleeves, is outstanding. That's amazing. So have you had a chance to look over the roster of other competitors you're coming up against? Now, I know you're training hard, you're just off a world championship, you're in the office right now for the PhD. Have you had a chance to set any time aside to check out any of your competitors?
Oh yeah, of course, definitely. Honestly, I'm honored that I get to even share the platform with them. That's really how I feel about that. So yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to it. Like I said, I haven't competed full power since Euros, and again, I'm actually going up a weight class. So I know that I think I was put in as a 57, but I know that for the ABS Pro, you can kind of just weigh in whatever, right?
Yep, that's correct.
Yeah, so I'm kind of in a weird spot right now. I'm in between 57 and 63, like dead in the center. And I've already seen a lot of gain on the squat, particularly just from my mechanics changing a bit from the extra mass. So I'm really excited to see what I can do, closer to 63. And that being said, I'm really, really looking forward to being on the platform with Annie Nelson. We've chatted a little bit about it, and obviously she's the best 63 in Britain, and like I said, I'm honored to even share the platform with her. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I feel like even if I can just hang with her, I'd feel pretty good about that. So
amazing. Yeah, like that's it. Like, I mean, you guys are actually pretty close in terms of your dot score. So I mean, you never know. There's a chance you might actually get to outlift her.
You never know. I mean, it depends on how well my next two blocks go, because I mean, I haven't really been posting a lot of my training lately, because I kind of want my performance at ABS to be a bit of a surprise.
Yeah. do you know, actually, this has been the hardest thing for trying to do these interviews. I'm trying to creep on everybody's Instagram, and everybody's been so on the down low. Like, I'm happy to hear, like, you're brewing up something in the background. We're likely to see a great performance. That's really good to hear. Is there any little tidbits or sneaky little bits of information you can give us how things are going?
Well, I guess the easiest thing to say would be I would be surprised if I didn't bench close to 120 at the ABS Pro.
Amazing.
Because on the day of Bench Worlds, I mean, I'm just going to say I had probably the worst peak of my life going up into Bench Worlds. Like, I failed every single of the peak. I was having a really rough time just sleeping and eating enough with my PhD work. And I did not expect anything good at Bench Worlds. I just was kind of going to go in there and do the best that I could. But on the day, knowing how my lifts move, I would say I probably had 115, 117 on the day. And given that I'll be heavier going into the ABS Pro than then, I mean, I would be pretty surprised if I didn't at least hit 117.
Amazing. That's an astonishingly massive bench, not just to have in the female flight, but if somebody of your body weight across all the standards, it's such a massive bench. So we're really excited to see that. And that's the thing about the standard we have at Abs Pro. Have you gotten to see any of the even clips of the meet to the standard it's held to? Have you got to see the pageantry around it? I'm sure you've seen some pretty cool things on the Instagram page.
So I actually watched the ABS Pro last year, so yeah, I've seen it.
Amazing.
So one thing about me is I love to just sit at home, eat a pizza, and watch meets. Honestly, IPF Worlds the whole week is I can barely think about anything else because I'm so excited to watch everybody. I absolutely love watching powerlifting.
Amazing. Yeah, I've done it myself. I've streamed powerlifting in work just so I can do something on my break. So probably not quite to that level of just enjoying a pizza and watching IPF Worlds, but that does speak volumes of your dedication to the sport. The fact that you're able to compete at such a high standard while pursuing the PhD says an awful lot. Now, would you be familiar with an awful lot of the lifters on this list? Outside of Annie Nelson, would you be familiar with projected first spot is going to Denise Herber? Have you managed to see her lift before?
So I watched her at the ABS Pro last year, and obviously she's a total beast. So
yeah,
I know that she's very, very strong. And I know that she's from Germany, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are the two things that I know about her. I just remembered her being incredibly strong.
Yeah, she finished on a 630 total, I believe, and just over 608 dots. So an outstanding performance. She is projected number one with our own Laura Vogelsang projected number two. But do we think there's a chance you'll be on the podium with them?
Like I said, it's gonna really depend on how my next block goes. Because, like I said, right now I'm in a bit of a power building block, so I'm not really, I haven't dialed up the intensity yet. But once I start the peak, that's going to be when I really know what kind of numbers I'm going to be able to hit. It's a bit too early to tell.
For sure, yeah.
But I will tell you that I'm probably going to obliterate my PR total. That I can tell you that.
Amazing. That's even better. Like,
yeah,
don't get me wrong, podiums are cool, but when people have, they get a new personal best, they go 9 for 9, they have a great day outside of anything to do with the actual competition is another massive part of it. I was talking to Mason Mills recently, and he mentioned that for him, going 9 for 9 and placing even in the top 6 would be enough for him with the standard that we have.
Yeah.
But speaking of that, you've had a bit of a chance, as you said, to look over some of the other athletes, and you have mentioned Annie Nelson. I would say you're probably within a good contention spot of maybe giving her a run for her money. But outside of Annie Nelson, was there anyone else on the list there that you thought, well, I'm going to put them in their place, I can beat them, I'm going to outlift them, outpull them, outsquat them?
I guess I don't really like to always say I'm definitely going to do this or that, because the thing is, lifting in a competition is completely different than lifting in training. I mean, I see so many people on Instagram that, can sit there and max out all day on their Instagram, and then they just kind of shit the bed in competition. There's just it's a skill, it's a skill to be able to keep yourself calm and collected on the platform and really enjoy it, and, do the best you can on the platform and not, in the gym. And I think I would say, for me personally, I've really worked hard on that. I've spent most of the last year and a half trying to reduce the amount of ego lifting that I'm doing at the gym, and it has drastically improved, my performances, and has resulted in the titles that I've recently won. Because I've had that discipline to not just sit there and lift for clout. I mean, if you can do it, amazing, more power to you. There's some lifters that can get away with it, that are both incredible on Instagram and incredible on the platform. There's tons of them that are. But because of competition lifting being a completely different animal, I don't really always like to say, oh, I'm definitely going to beat this person, because you never know what kind of day you're going to have on the platform. Really, just in reality,
You're 100% right. I think we can all relate to that. Anyone that's ever competed in a couple of competitions can say, they could have had the best peak ever and then completely shit the bed on the day. These things sometimes happen. Now, one thing that has come up in conversation in some of the other interviews that I've done with some of the other pro lifters, especially those that have had the experience at a previous ABS series event or an ABS pro event, is the pace at which the competition moves. So I'm not sure if it came across on the streams, but the way how quick the bar is loaded and your attempt is prepared, that we tend to get through attempts pretty do So one of the things that took a couple of the first time lifters knocked them for a loop on the meet was that they weren't really prepared to do their squats every 6 minutes or so. So there is going to be a pretty fast turnover. Based on your extensive background in powerlifting, I can't count here how many competitions you've done, but it's definitely probably in around 15 or more. Would you say that you are prepared for what's to come in terms of what the meet demands from each of the lifters? I don't know if you've ever been to Ireland? Actually, it's probably a better question.
I've actually, yes, and I've also been to Dublin.
Amazing.
I haven't been to ABS, but it's kind of funny. Going to Dublin was one of the first things that I did when I moved to the UK.
Yeah, good choice. Yeah.
it was so much fun. I absolutely loved it. So
well, you'll be back soon. Yeah, you're gonna have a good time. So, well, fair warning, the gym is currently like an inferno. It's like lifting inside of a toaster, but that's nice. One of the things. Yeah, it's a tough environment. So outside of the pageantry, as an actual athlete, the warm-up area is pretty big, but there's going to be a lot of people back there. It's a fast-moving meet. You're quite the experienced veteran athlete, so I'm confident you will come in pretty well prepared, and I'm assuming you're going to have a team around you to help you be your best on the day. So the real question is then, coming up to AB Series, you've mentioned, now again, there is a lot of variables that can change in the next 8 weeks, 100%. But as you've mentioned, you do believe, all going well, you're going to smash your current PR total. So is this potentially going to be the best Melissa Hexter that we've actually seen on a powerlifting platform?
Well, that's the goal, isn't it? I mean, I would say I've been working pretty hard towards that. So if it doesn't happen, I'd be pretty surprised. I mean, I don't know. Like, I'd have to really, really mess up to not have that happen. Like, just because I haven't competed in full power for so many months now that statistically speaking, it would be pretty impressive if I didn't absolutely obliterate my dot score and my PB total. Especially because we've got the 24-hour weigh-in and everything, you know.
Yeah.
You can even manipulate a bit if you want to, like, you know, eke that dot score a little bit. But yeah, also you were talking about the pace and the heat. Well, I mean, I'm from the United States. Like, I know heat. Sorry, I know heat better than the UK. People know heat. But anyway.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
But also, in terms of the pace, I got definitely a taste of that in my last few IPF competitions, particularly with Euros. I mean, it was a full power meet, and I think it was completely done in an hour and a half. So, yeah, it was blazingly fast. So, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much what I expect every time I do an international now. So that should be okay. And like you said, I mean, I'll be competing on the spec equipment, which is what I try to train on most of the time. So that'll be good. I'm just really looking forward to having a great time and, you know, smashing my total. Like I said, I'd have to have a pretty catastrophic day to not do that, especially since I am, I think, 3-4 kilos heavier than the last time I've competed. So
I think you're bringing... Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I think you're bringing a lot of, you're coming off this amazing bench press performance, and as you mentioned, you're now up a couple of kilos, so you're obviously eating good, recovering well, as you mentioned at the beginning, and then this is going to be your first official meet in wraps. So this, I think, stands to be potentially a fantastic performance, but also I like that it brings a little bit of that wild card element to it, because for me personally, one of the best fun things about a meet is when the top 3 podium positions are still being decided by the third pull on deadlift. I think that's great fun. So I do think, based on what I'm seeing in front of me, what you're saying, there is a good chance you're in contention even for that third spot. I do think you're looking pretty good. Things are sounding pretty good. Not to put pressure on you here now or anything like that, but I'm excited to see what you...
It's okay. I like the pressure. I don't mind.
Good. Yeah, a lot of these ladies on this list, some of them I've seen before previous competitions. A couple of our own from Ireland, Emma McDermott, Louise Kenna. Those ladies are really, really good game day lifters. Emma in particular, super intense athlete. So I'd imagine she is going to want... Emma's currently sitting on a 467 dots. I'm sure she's going to want to push that closer and closer to that 500 dots, that 500 dots margin, and I imagine she will do it. And then more recently, I know Amelia Cook competed with us at Abs Pro last year and had a really great breakout performance there. So I'm excited to see how a lot of these ladies do and how they fare against... I'm sure they have seen your bench press performance, and you're putting the pressure on them to take it up another level. So I think that's one of the fun things about this day and age in powerlifting with Instagram. You know what I mean? People can kind of like creep on each other and see how the training's going. I think it's an exciting time, and I'm really excited to see how you get on it. Not just for yourself. It sounds like you're going to have a great time and have a great meet. You're obviously going to be in Ireland, so you'll probably end up getting pissed after, so it's going to be a good time. But the lineup itself, just for the competition from a spectator standpoint, is going to be super exciting.
Yeah, no, so, I'm absolutely so excited, and it's my first full power of the year, so that's another reason I'm so excited.
Yeah, like that's, and I'd imagine for you it's going to be like a little bit of a like coming back to that after spending so long just doing bench preps to actually get in and manage to, like, you know, as you say, smash out your old full power total and PR. That's amazing, and I'm excited to see it. Before I let you go and get back to your hard work and study, is there any closing statements you have for either the people watching at home or for your fellow competitors?
Well, hopefully my lab mates will get to see it on the live stream. They've always watched all of my meets, so I really love them for that. And also my family's coming, so I'm excited for their support as well. They're coming all the way from the US.
Amazing.
Yeah. Also, shout out to Imperial Athletes for sponsoring me and allowing me to go to all these meets. And shout out to Goodlift as well for also sponsoring me and helping me go to these good meets. And yeah, I guess that's, and then also that I am super, super thrilled to share the platform with so many great athletes. I've never been in a pro showcase before, so this is really exciting for me. And, I'm someone that really, I just get way more hyped when I have really good competition, and I feel like I have really good competition at this meet. So I'm very excited for that.
Amazing. Well, we look forward to welcoming yourself. We look forward to welcoming your family. Thank you to your sponsors for facilitating you being able to come and join us here in Ireland for the ABS Pro 2022. It's going to be on August 13th. Any one of your friends will be able to watch on our live stream, and it's going to be not only the biggest competition in Ireland, but it's also the most competitive competition coming in Europe. So gang, we're going to let Melissa here get back to her work. Thank you very much everybody for watching, and we will see you on the next one. Take it handy.